Hi everyone, my name is Alexey Ivano and I'm a Global Tech Leader of Partner Security and Identity, Senior Partner Solutions Architect here at AWS. Unfortunately, my colleague Brian couldn't join me today, and looks like he is not alone. Not only Brian couldn't join me today, giving us the empty chairs. But anyway, we're going to talk about how we raise the bar for partner validations in regards to security specifically. Something exciting that was announced earlier today at our keynote by Justin Brindley-Kunz. So, we all know how security progressed from traditional siloed security tools and manual operations in the past through today's cloud automation and future-driven integrated security through unified management and intelligent operations, right? And there is a problem that on average, enterprises have more than 70 security tools, right? So basically, it's a siloed approach that brings the need for consolidation and more straightforward visibility and automation. And that's where our managed security service partners come into play and help to address those challenges. So you might ask, why would I want to work with MSSPs, right? Partner with MSSPs. And the answer is, imagine if you're just doing spoons, right? Your business is about manufacturing spoons. You don't have any security expertise in-house, but you still need to be sure that your operations are secure, right, resilient, and your data is always available to your customers and your employees. So basically, that's where MSSPs come into play, right? They have a security expertise. They have multi-cloud security knowledge, 24/7 operations, right? And then they can improve your operational efficiency through automation, through consolidated management, and at the same time bring measurable business outcomes such as continuous compliance and cost saving and optimization. So with that in mind, today we will launch our MSSP competency to address all the customer feedback and needs that we keep hearing here and there. So now, the MSSP competency framework is built the following way. We have core requirements that every MSSP partner on AWS has to meet, right? Those are all the baseline things that you would expect from any MSSP, and we will touch on that in details in a moment. But on top of those core requirements, there are optional categories, right, that help partners to differentiate their offerings in specific security subdomains, from infrastructure security to cyber recovery. And partners has to choose at least one of those optional categories in order to be differentiated on the market. Moreover, as my previous speaker mentioned, Ellie, right, we keep hearing from customers that some of them operate in multi-cloud and hybrid environments. And that brings the challenges such as insufficient security, inconsistent security controls, right, limited visibility and observability. So that's again where MSSP partners come into play, because they support multi-cloud and hybrid deployments. They bring automation and they bring solutions that help you to address those gaps. Let's talk about the structure of the competency. Now, we support two different flavors of MSSP competency. The first one is for software partners, software MSSPs, or ISVs, who are supposed to integrate with AWS services or provide equivalent capabilities built in-house to address customer security needs and use cases. And consulting partners, on the other hand, they must meet AWS expertise in AWS services, right, and be able to address the most challenging security scenarios. Again, think of MSSP compared to security partners as those who are gonna operationalize your security in your AWS environment, 24/7 monitoring, alerting, and response, right? While security partners perform the implementation and provide solutions for certain security use cases, MSSPs rather provide operationalization. Again, another new thing that we added to the competency is that now MSSP partners can use security ISV solutions that were validated and vetted by AWS security competency. So basically, if you have some ISV license and don't have in-house resources and expertise to manage those solutions, you can always find an MSSP partner who has expertise and partnership with these ISVs. More in details on that later. So let's have a look at these core requirements that I mentioned. Every MSSP must be able to address those requirements. In this particular case, we would expect MSSP to provide continuous security monitoring of customer AWS environment, multi-account security management and access control, right? Security posture management, AWS security best practices and prescriptive guidance alignment, right? And basically, resource inventory and configuration, and even compliance. In this case, any partner has to have expertise with baseline, I would say, or like most important, most used security services such as Security Hub, GuardDuty, Security Lake, Amazon Inspector, right? And obviously identity and access management, because you cannot manage your permissions without knowing how to write policies in AWS. And when we speak about third-party ISVs, security ISVs, the useful solution types in this particular case would be CM solution, right? SOAR solution, CSPM, and attack surface management solutions. So think of the partners like Splunk, Tynes, Aqua Security, and many others that you can see on this slide. So if you as a customer use Splunk but has no people who can manage this Splunk within your organization, you can always find the right MSSP by filtering out those partners by a particular vendor. Infrastructure security, that's the first category, optional category that I mentioned before, and that's all about network protection, network security, network segregation, and network policy automation, right? So think about vulnerability management of your AWS infrastructure, vulnerability scanning, right? Separation of your networks, managing network ACL, security groups. In this case, we would really expect MSSP partners to be experts in services such as AWS Network Firewall, Web Application Firewall, right? VPC, System Manager, AWS Shield and Shield Advanced. And when we speak about third-party security ISVs, think of CSPM, CWPP solutions, right? Attack surface management, vulnerability management solutions. And we have the whole suite of different network security solution types that we validate by our AWS security competency that can help partners to meet these requirements. The next category is workload security. So basically, in this case, those partners will help you to address the security of any workloads that you run on AWS using EC2, containers, Lambda, right? Using API gateway and many other different services. So in this case, it's about integrity of your code. It's about workload protection and cloud native security and cloud workload posture management. So in this case, think about CWPP and different solutions for threat detection and incident response, including AI threat detection and incident response provided by partners like CrowdStrike and many others. The next category is application security. In this case, it's all about your applications. Security testing, penetration testing, CI/CD security, right? DevSecOps. So those partners will be the right choice to address your application security needs and secure software development lifecycle. In this case, obviously, we talk about services such as Amazon API Gateway, AWS Web Application Firewall, Secrets Manager, AWS Signer, and any tools that we provide for developers to manage CI/CD pipelines and artifacts. And speaking of partners, we have a wide array of partners working or providing web application and API protection, static code securities, right, and supply chain security that those MSSP could use to deliver on these requirements. The next one is data protection, and it's all about discovery of your sensitive data, protecting the data that you use for training by your AI and ML workloads, right? Classification, data classification, tokenization, and masking. And in this case, as you can see, it's all about encryption using services like KMS, Cloud HSM. It's about certificate management through ACM or private CA, as well as finding the sensitive data in your S3 buckets with help of Macy, and obviously ML workloads through SageMaker. Whew, thank you. All right, the next one is identity and access management. Think about any anomaly detection for your principals. For example, someone logging to your AWS account 3 a.m. at night, right, from unknown IP address. So this is definitely a red flag from security standpoint. So those partners, those MSSPs will help you to identify those anomalies, right? Address your access management criteria and requirements, just-in-time access solutions, access control tools, and many other identity-related solutions could be deployed and maintained by those partners. And for security ISV use cases and solutions, types of solutions, think about workforce identity management, PASM, right, temporally elevated access management solutions, and the list of partners includes such widely known names in the industry like CyberArk, Hermetic, SailPoint, and many others. Finally, incident response. Obviously, when you think about MSSP, you think about monitoring, alerting, and responding to security events. And this category is built around NIST standards and guidelines, right? So basically, we would expect our MSSP partners to follow the preparation stage, detection and analysis, response and recovery, and post-incident activity. And the services that are really useful, obviously the ones that we released last year at reInvent, AWS Security Incident Response. Other services also include Amazon Detective, Security Hub, Security Lake, and GuardDuty. So those are the services that customers and MSSPs would like to use to address incident response scenarios. And speaking of ISVs, we have a number of different companies who we validated with a security competency. And finally, cyber recovery, which is sort of complementary to incident response, but while incident response more concerned about preparation, identification, right, containment and recovery, this one is more about planning your business continuity, planning your backups, preparing for ransomware potential events, right? So this cyber recovery category is built around services like AWS Backup, DRS, S3, Snowball Edge, and Outpost family for hybrid environments, obviously. And the use cases that are applicable from the security competency, they include malware analysis, database security, keys and secrets management, and different CSPM, XDR, and CWBP solution. As I mentioned before, one of the key things that we added in this relaunched competency is the mapping between MSSP categories and security ISV solutions validated by AWS security competency. So now you can definitely find the right partners to help you with the vendors that you already been using for a long time. So how can you start, right? How to find the right partners for customers? We have different tools and portals that could be used to find the right partner for you. So first of all, it's the AWS Partner Solutions Finder portal where you can filter managed security service providers by category, right? And find different partners, SIs, GSIs, or ASVs that could help you. And also an MSSP competency website with some advanced filters like hybrid or multi-cloud support, or certain security vendor support like CrowdStrike, for example, TrendMicro, any MSSPs who really are experts and partner with security ASV solutions. And when you engage with partners, we generally recommend you to define security requirements that you want to address with those partners. So think what is your use case, right? What are the potential outcomes you're looking for before engaging with those partners? So it will be more straightforward and aligned conversation. And with these tools and websites, you can evaluate partner solutions. You can review the case studies that they have for their MSSP competency achievement for their badge, right? And compare it to your use cases and define whether it's the right choice or not. And for partners, if you want to join the program and become an MSSP partner, you can always get access to the program requirements through Partner Central portal. You have to submit 4 case studies proving your production experience, addressing certain security challenges for your AWS customers. And finally, just pass the technical validation and prove that you meet all the technical requirements that we defined in the validation checklist. And that's it. Thank you.